Today we will discuss about hypothesis. In detail, we discuss about concept of hypothesis, sources of hypothesis, characteristics of a good hypothesis, types of hypothesis. First, we discuss about the concept of hypothesis. The word hypothesis consists of two words, that is hypo plus thesis is equal to hypothesis. Hypo means tentative or subject to the verifications, and thesis means statement about the solutions of a problem. The literal meaning of the term hypothesis is a tentative statement about the solutions of the problem. It is a framework for drawing conclusions from a research study. To be complete, the hypothesis must include three components, that is the variables, the populations, and the relationship between the two variables. What are the sources of hypothesis? Hypothesis requires a researcher to be speculative, imaginative, having good knowledge, deep insight, and analytical mind, creative and experience, background information, versatile intellect, and analogy. What is the analogy? The analogy provides hypothesis by comparing different situations. A systematic review and analysis of theories is also a sources of the hypothesis. Characteristics of a good hypothesis included that hypothesis must be simple, easily understandable. It should be clear, specific, and precise, capable and being tested. State relationship hypothesis. A good hypothesis can state a relationship between variable. It consistent with most known fact, explain the fact that gave the rise to the need for explanation. Or it also tentative propositions, etc. Types of hypothesis included that first one is null hypothesis. Null hypothesis is a special form of hypothesis that processes that no significant differences or relationship between two variables. Second one is alternative hypothesis. This is a special form of hypothesis that possesses relationship between the variables being studied. Third one is directional hypothesis. That is a directional hypothesis provide researcher a direction to determine the relationship between two different variables. Non-direction hypothesis. A non-directional hypothesis does not predict the exact directions or nature of the relationship between the two variables. And five is statistical hypothesis. Statistical hypothesis is that type of hypothesis which assume statistical populations that one seek to support or refute. The null hypothesis and alternative hypothesis together are called statistical hypothesis.